Welcome back to World Bike 55. Today, we're taking a detailed look at one of the most interesting adventure motorcycles of 2026, the KOVE 100X. This is a motorcycle that aims to combine strong performance, relatively low weight, serious off-road ability, and long-distance touring practicality into one package. KOVE has positioned the 800X as a motorcycle for riders who don't want to choose between highway performance and adventure capability. At the heart of the 2026 KOVE 100X is a 799cc liquid-cooled parallel twin engine with DOC technology, an 88 by 65.7mm bore and stroke, and a 13:1 compression ratio. Depending on the market and specification, the engine is rated at around 94.5 to 95 horsepower, with torque close to 79 to 81 Nm. That gives this adventure motorcycle plenty of performance for highway riding, overtaking, and demanding roads. KOVE pairs the engine with a 6-speed transmission and electronic fuel injection, giving the bike a modern and responsive powertrain. One of the biggest attractions of this engine is the balance between usable torque and strong top-end performance. The parallel twin configuration provides a broad power delivery, while the 270-degree crank design used on the 800X gives the engine a distinctive character and sound. The result is a motorcycle that feels substantially more powerful than a typical middleweight adventure bike, without moving into the size and complexity of some larger adventure machines. On the road, the 800X is designed to feel energetic and responsive. With approximately 95 horsepower available, there is enough power for confident acceleration when conditions allow, while the 6-speed gearbox helps keep the engine relaxed during steady cruising. KOVE lists a maximum speed of around 210 km/h for the Super Adventure specification, although real-world performance can vary according to model, market, rider, conditions, and equipment. The chassis is where the KOVE 800X becomes especially interesting. The motorcycle uses a steel frame combined with an aluminum swing arm, while the suspension is designed to handle both paved roads and rough terrain. The Pro specification uses adjustable kib suspension, with a 48mm upside-down front fork and a piggyback rear shock. Both ends offer adjustment capability, allowing the suspension setup to be adapted to different riding conditions and loads. The adventure-focused setup is supported by a 21-inch front wheel and an 18-inch rear wheel. These wheel sizes are a familiar combination in serious adventure motorcycles because the larger front wheel can help the motorcycle deal with uneven surfaces, loose terrain, and obstacles more confidently. The 800X also uses tubeless wheels, adding practicality for riders who spend long hours traveling. Ground clearance is another major advantage. KOVE lists around 275mm of clearance on the Super Adventure specification, giving the motorcycle plenty of room underneath for rough roads and trails. The suspension travel is also substantial, with figures around 210mm or more depending on the version. This is a motorcycle designed to take adventure riding seriously rather than simply looking like an adventure bike. The braking system is equally important. The 800X Pro specification features twin front discs with 4-piston calipers and a rear disc brake. Selectable ABS provides additional control, particularly when road conditions change. Riders should always use electronic safety systems according to the conditions and manufacturer recommendations, especially on public roads. Styling is one of the first things you notice about the KOVE 100X. The motorcycle has a tall, aggressive adventure bike profile, with a narrow front section, protective bodywork, a high ground clearance stance, and a practical riding position. The design clearly communicates that this machine is intended to travel beyond smooth city streets. The front section combines adventure bike styling with functional aerodynamics. A tall windscreen helps provide protection from wind during longer rides, while LED lighting gives the motorcycle a modern appearance. The high-mounted front design and protective components contribute to its rugged character. From the side, the proportions are particularly impressive. The long travel suspension, 21-inch front wheel, large engine, and high-clearance chassis give the motorcycle a purposeful appearance. The fuel system is also designed around keeping mass low and centralized on some versions, which can contribute to a more manageable feel when the bike is being moved through difficult terrain. And that brings us to one of the most important selling points of the KOVE 100X. Weight. The 2026 800X Pro is listed as approximately 408 pounds, or about 185 kilograms, in curb weight terms, depending on market specification. That is remarkably competitive for a motorcycle with a 799cc twin-cylinder engine and this level of adventure equipment. The lower weight can make a major difference when maneuvering the motorcycle at low speed or riding on loose surfaces. KOVE's approach is clearly different from simply building a large, heavy adventure motorcycle. Instead, the company has focused heavily on the power-to-weight relationship. Around 95 horsepower combined with a relatively light chassis creates a motorcycle that promises strong acceleration while remaining easier to manage than many heavier adventure bikes. The fuel tank is another practical feature. The Super Adventure specification is listed with a 20-liter tank, while other versions can vary in capacity, with fuel economy depending heavily on riding style, terrain, speed, luggage, and conditions. The motorcycle is designed to provide useful touring range. For adventure riders, that means fewer interruptions during longer journeys. The riding position is built around versatility. The tall seat and upright ergonomics give the rider a commanding view of the road, while the wide handlebar provides leverage when riding on uneven surfaces. The exact seat height varies by version, with the Super Adventure specification listed around 875 mm, or approximately 865 mm in its lower setting. For long-distance riders, the equipment package is particularly interesting. The 2026 versions can include modern electronic features such as traction control, ride-by-wire, selectable riding modes, cruise control, and quick-shifting equipment depending on the exact market and model. This makes the 800X more than just a basic mechanical adventure motorcycle.